Gentlemen, what I am about to tell you is a state secret. The French government has decided to sell the Eiffel Tower.
The five men in this hotel suite are the biggest scrap metal dealers in Paris. They believe they are talking to the deputy director of the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs. They are actually talking to the greatest con artist who ever lived. And within 1 week, one of them is going to buy the Eiffel Tower. By the end of this video, how a man sold a national monument armed with nothing but stationery and confidence. Why his victim never called the police. How he scammed Al Capone and got thanked for it. How he escaped prison with a bedsheet in broad daylight in front of a crowd. And why, when he died, his death certificate listed his occupation as apprentice salesman. This is the man who sold the Eiffel Tower. Twice. Victor Lustig. Born 1890 in Austria-Hungary. Smart kid, good family, excellent student, right up until he discovered that talking was more profitable than working. By 20, he speaks 5 languages. By 30, he has 4 to 5 known aliases and a police file in half of Europe. His specialty, the transatlantic ocean liners, floating cities full of rich, bored people. His masterpiece from this era, the Rumanian money box. A beautiful mahogany machine that, he claimed, printed perfect $100 bills. It just needed 6 hours per bill. He'd load it with 2 real bills, print them in front of the buyer, and sell the box for $30,000. By the time it started printing blank paper, Victor was an ocean away. And the beautiful part? The victims had just tried to buy a money printing machine, which is extremely illegal. Who exactly were they going to call? May 1925. Paris. Victor is reading the newspaper and finds an article complaining about the Eiffel Tower. Here's what people forget. The tower was built as a temporary exhibit for the 1889 World's Fair. By 1925, it's 36 years old, rusting, expensive to maintain, and the article casually mentions the city has even discussed demolishing it. Most people read that and turn the page. Victor Lustig reads that and sees the greatest sales opportunity of the 20th century. Step 1. Paperwork. He commissioned a counterfeiter to forge official government stationery, Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs, which genuinely managed the tower. Step 2. Casting. He writes to the 5 biggest scrap dealers in Paris, inviting them to a confidential meeting at the Hôtel de Crillon, the most prestigious address in the city. Nobody says no to that letterhead.
The tower will be sold for scrap. 7,000 tons of iron. But gentlemen, the public would riot. Absolute discretion until the contract is signed.
It's brilliant. The secrecy isn't a red flag, it's the product. These men now believe they're inside a deal the public isn't allowed to know exists. He even rents limousines and personally drives the dealers around the tower for an inspection tour, pointing out rust spots with the board authority of a man who has done this paperwork 100 times. And during that tour, Victor isn't selling. He is shopping, watching the 5 men, looking for the perfect buyer. He finds him, André Poisson, not the richest of the 5, the hungriest. New money, desperate to matter, dying to break into the Paris elite. A man who needs this deal to be real.
If I pull this off, the Poisson name will mean something in this city. When do we sign, Monsieur le Directeur?
One problem, Madame Poisson. She finds the whole thing suspicious. Why the secrecy? Why the rush? Why this hotel instead of a government office? And here, Victor Lustig produces the single greatest move in con artist history.
Monsieur Poisson, I must be honest with you. My government salary is modest. Men in my position are accustomed to receiving certain considerations. To move papers quickly.
He asks for a bribe, and instantly Poisson relaxes. Because a corrupt official asking for a bribe is not a con man. A corrupt official is real. Only the government could be this crooked. Poisson hands over a banker's draft for the tower plus the bribe in cash. Roughly £1 million total, a fortune. Victor signs the contract with a flourish, shakes hands, promises the demolition permits within the month, and is on the night train to Vienna with a suitcase of money before Poisson finishes his celebration dinner. And now, the part of the plan that separates good con men from legends. In Vienna, Victor buys every French newspaper every single day, looking for the story, the scandal, the manhunt. Nothing. Day after day, nothing. Because André Poisson would rather lose a fortune than let Paris find out he bought the Eiffel Tower from a stranger in a hotel. Victor Lustig had built a con where reporting the crime cost more than the crime itself. The victim's shame was the getaway car. So he did what any reasonable person would do. He took the train back to Paris and sold the Eiffel Tower again. Same suite. Same letterhead. 5 NEW scrap dealers. The pitch runs perfectly until one buyer, less starstruck than Poisson, quietly checks with a contact at the ministry. This time the police are called. Victor reads it in the morning paper, finishes his coffee, tips generously, and boards a liner to America under one of his 4 to 5 names. America suits him. Prohibition, Chicago to be exact. Which brings us to the second most dangerous meeting of his life. Victor walks into the office of Al Capone, a man who solved his disputes with baseball bats, and asks him to invest $50,000 in a stock deal that will double in 60 days. Capone hands over the money. His goodbye is simple. If this is a trick, you won't need a refund. You'll need a coffin. 60 days later, Victor walks back in. No armored car. No apology letter. Just Victor, a briefcase, and every single dollar.
Mr. Capone, the deal fell through. I am terribly sorry. Here is your 50,000 to the last bill. I only regret I could not make you your profit.
Capone is stunned. In his world, nobody returns money. This little European just handed back 50 grand on pure honor. So Capone peels off $5,000 for your honesty, he says. Which was the plan? The entire time. There was never any stock deal. Victor risked his life for 60 days to be handed $5,000 by Al Capone as a gift with a smile. Through the 30s, Victor goes bigger, a counterfeiting operation flooding America with fake bills so good that banks accepted them. The Secret Service nicknames the mystery source the Count. They hunt him for years. In the end, it isn't fingerprints or forensics that catch the greatest liar in history. It's a jealous girlfriend who makes one anonymous phone call. 1935. New York. Victor is arrested with a key to a locker containing 51,000 fake dollars and the printing plates. Airtight. The trial starts Monday. On Sunday, at the federal detention headquarters, a figure climbs out of a third-floor window holding a rope of knotted bedsheets in front of a street full of pedestrians. So Victor pulls a rag from his pocket and starts wiping the windows as he descends. Floor by floor, the entire street watches the world's most wanted counterfeiter climb down a bedsheet and sees a window washer. He reaches the ground, bows slightly, and disappears into Manhattan. The manhunt takes 27 days. They catch him in Pittsburgh reportedly because he couldn't resist running one more small con. This time there's no window. Victor Lustig is sent to the one prison built for people like him, Alcatraz. The rock breaks him slowly. The smoothest talker in the world, in a place where talking buys nothing. In 1947, he contracts pneumonia and dies 2 days later. On the death certificate, under occupation, some bureaucrat with a sense of humor, or none at all, wrote, "Apprentice salesman." Victor left one document behind, his 10 commandments for con men. Rule 1, be a patient listener. Rule 3, wait for the other person to reveal their politics, then agree with them. Rule 6, never get drunk. Rule 10, the important one, never boast. Just let your importance be quietly obvious. Notice something? None of the 10 rules are about lying. They're all about listening. Victor didn't sell people lies. He listened until he heard the lie they already wanted to believe and sold them that. Poisson wanted status. Capone wanted respect. The money box buyers wanted easy money. Every single victim was handed a mirror. The Eiffel Tower still stands, by the way. 7,000 tons of iron he never owned, never touched, and sold twice. Not bad for an apprentice salesman. So, could you have spotted the con? Be honest in the comments. Remember, everyone thinks they'd spot it. That's exactly what he counted on. For something much darker, 9 hikers who cut their way out of their own tent at -25 and never came back. That video is on screen now. And subscribe. Next time, we're solving whether a man can really vanish out of a locked, guarded room with the strangest disappearance ever recorded.